So we were discussing about different organisms, and we were about to discuss about this cactus plant. So they are adapting themselves against heat and cold. That is true. They are also protecting themselves from water stress. It is applicable for this camel also. Which one is this one? The small bird. So what is speciality of this bird? Very good. Huh? It has such small size and speed of flying that it can suspend at one position and have to and fro motion so that it can take the nectar from the flower. Last one. It's not as a rat, it's kangaroo rat. But I don't know why it is called kangaroo rat. Speciality of this rat is that it never drinks water in its lifetime. So best adaptation for water stress and heat conditions. They generally survive in desert and they can live without water. Not a big deal for them. Okay. So let's see. We know that Earth is having season, and in Earth every part is not having same type of seasonal variation or same type of structure. In some cases we have lot of rain, for example rainforest where excess rain is a problem. On the contrary, we have desert where no rain is a problem. We have tundra area where soil is not that like fertile. It's quite bunjal, infertile soil. So you can see the different biomes distribution in the earth. So this is annual precipitation in the x-axis, and in y-axis there is a temperature, and areas plotted where you can see that coniferous forest, temperate forest, and grassland and tropical forest. Tropical forest has maximum precipitation. Okay. Whereas Arctic and Alpine tundra has minimum variation. Its precipitation is below 50 to sometime around over above 100. Whereas in desert it is below 50. In grassland it is ranging from below 50 to 100. So these are different biomes. I mentioned you about biomes. So biomes are broad area where lots of ecosystems are coming. So what are the biomes present in Earth? How many of them are there? 6 are there. You need to know about these biomes, and based on this graph, you should be able to say about their precipitation and temperature. Don't worry, you don't have to tell the exact value, but you should be having an idea. Desert is the area where temperature is from low to high and the precipitation is minimum. Yes. Precipitation मतलब बारिश. बारिश is मतलब in agro climatic meteorological terminology में बारिश कितना हो रहा है, that is measured as precipitation. Okay. So is it true that we can see life only in Ahmedabad city? The places where we think is uncomfortable, we cannot live. Life can exist over there. In grade 11, you must have heard about extreme microbes like Thermoacidophilus microbes, anaerobes. See, we cannot even survive for a few minutes without oxygen. but there are microbes which can survive in the deep volcanic vent where oxygen is absent. So living world shows maximum diversity, and life is possible in Rajasthan desert also, and rain-soaked Meghalayan forest also, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram, Assam. All these are areas where maximum precipitation is observed. So you can see that if you look into the lifestyle of human being, the food they eat, okay, all of these parameters are changed as per the region. You can see in India, I am Bengali, you are Gujarati. Our food habits are different. Clothing patterns are different. In West Bengal, you cannot wear anything other than cotton. पागल हो जाओगे, मर जाओगे. बहुत पसीने वाली गर्मी है, बहुत ज्यादा ह्यूमिडिटी होती है. एनीथिंग अदर देन कॉटन, मतलब आप नहा के निकल के ड्राइंग रूम से निकल के बस पकड़ने जाओ, उससे पहले आप वापस से नहा जाओगे. So it is so humid. Here the clothes what we wear full sleeves because sun is high. We don't get tanned over there. गर्मी के मौसम में कोई काला नहीं होता, उल्टा स्किन और अच्छा हो because पसीना. Okay, so different place is having different kind of food habits. So the kind of food we are eating in summer season, you are not easy. Winter over there is extreme because it is near Himalayan region. So winter over there is extreme. So we are habituated to that. So if you ask me, is there any winter season in Ahmedabad? I will say no. It is pleasant season. Okay. So this is how we like adapt ourselves for example, I will give you example of Gujarati food habits. You know, during winter season you eat lots of haldi. हल्दी का जो प्लांट होता है उसको कट करके घी में पका के खाया जाता है. Why? It will boost your immune system and like help you to fight against the common cold and other disorders. So you can see that even deep ocean trenches, life can be there. Even the torrential streams. Streams here means the small rivers. Here also, like it is present. Even the permafrost area, that is polar region where you cannot see soil over because it is deep buried under the layer of snow. There also streams which are coming out of mountains, small streams. So all these polar region and how high mountain tops, they are also not like even human being तो आजकल omnipresent है, कहीं छोड़ते नहीं है. Thermal springs also have organism. Compost pit जिसमें हम जाए भी नहीं. We just now studied about biogas. So in biogas tank also life exists. It's not just a thing that life doesn't exist. So there are abiotic components which is present there like water, light, temperature, soil, etc. And there are biotic components like pathogens, parasites, predators, and competitors. Do you know what do we mean by pathogen? So you know, because we already studied about human health and diseases. Parasites, what are they? Without? Is it so? So you cannot call AIDS virus as a parasite because it is feeding the host. Anything which is living with the host and causing harm to it, and that harm can be minimum itching to maximum death, is called parasite. You cannot say it is not killing. Host, अभी तक वही तो बोला था. Spellbound. Parasites which are causing certain symptoms and disease, we call them pathogens. So all pathogens are parasites, but it's not necessary that all parasites are parasites. Okay. What are predators? मतलब वो किसी को धीरे धीरे नहीं मारते, बस they pounce on their prey, predator and prey, like tiger. They don't wait and kill कि अब मैं चला जाऊं deer के अंदर and I will wait to kill. They pounce on the deer and they kill. That is predator. And competitors, all of them are competitors. Even the parasite and the host is competitor. If host is strong, it will kick out of the parasite. Even the prey and predators are competitors. Okay. So each organism have their distinct role in their environment. Okay. We call the role of an organism in its environment as niche. Niche. So each organism, that means is always tolerating with biotic and abiotic factors, and it has a prominent role in ecosystem. This is the part we need to understand. Many a times रात को कभी पावर चला जाए और मच्छर काटे तो हम दूसरे से बोलते हैं यार ये मच्छर है ही क्यों, पता नहीं, ना होता तो क्या फर्क पड़ता, but फर्क पड़ता. Mosquitoes also have their role in ecosystem. If they are not there, ecosystem will be disturbed. Understood? So we will first talk about the abiotic factors. In abiotic factor, there are temperature, water, light, and soil. Temperature is ecologically relevant factor, and we know that we have equator, which is central line which is dividing Earth into two parts, northern and southern hemisphere. So equator is the area where maximum temperature is observed. As we move towards the pole, the temperature decreases. So there are sub-zero level. Many a time, even in different areas, we have deep thermal vents, which are hydrothermal vents, are generally present below the sea. So these are always connected with the inner core of Earth, and we know that after evolution, Earth started cooling down, but still the core is hot. And if that hot core is exposed and water is coming out after touching that core, it will be hot. Okay, so thermal spring and deep sea hydrothermal vents are examples of that. So how do you think temperature affects us? क्या होगा, क्यों टेम्परेचर का क्या इफेक्ट होता है अपनी लाइफ पे? Just now we can see the effect of temperature in life of Mishka. Mishka, can you elaborate? So Mishka is feeling cold. What will happen if we feel cold? So that too we are responding to cold, and we are stopping us to feel cold. But if it is not controlled by shivering, sweater, and still some cruel person is decreasing temperature up to the extreme, body will become numb. Very good. And then death. So Yesha loves to come to the final conclusion. Blood circulation. ऐसा क्यों? तुम्हारी बॉडी नम होती है, ब्लड को उससे क्या लेना देना? टेम्परेचर की वजह से. क्यों? उतने तक तो वो हो जाएगा जो ये चैनल, उतने तक तो that will be there. We will be very close to God or maybe devil, depending upon our karma. So actually, first of all, you need to understand that our body is bunch of chemical reactions effect. And all these reactions are controlled by enzymes which require an optimum temperature. So before the water present in our body start to freeze, जो बोला ना नम हो जाएगा एंड देन फाइनल डेथ, और प्रशांत ने भी बोला है कि अगर सब जम जाएगा तो ब्लड भी जम जाएगा तो फिर वो सर्कुलेट नहीं होगा, उससे पहले हमारी हम मरना स्टार्ट कर देंगे क्योंकि वी विल हैव हाइपोथर्मिया, जिसमें अपनी बॉडी के एंजाइम्स एंड बॉडी पार्ट्स स्टॉप टू वर्क ड्यू टू अनअवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ ऑप्टिमम टेम्परेचर. Okay, what will happen if we have extreme temperature? He also wants to jump to conclusion. Direct burns, matlab. Hi, obviously, if I put you in fire, sometimes I feel like. So then obviously a person will burn, but that is the burning to means obviously it is death. But before that also a person gets killed. पता है sunstroke हो जाता है, heat stroke हो जाती है. Because at extreme temperature, same our body's enzyme and other things stop working. We can have enough water loss due to perspiration. Because to maintain body temperature, we perspire a lot. पसीना बहुत होता है. So a person can have electrolyte imbalance. तो पहले बेहोश होगा, फिर भी अगर कोई ना देखे तो then a person can have heart attack. So it all depends on how much temperature, and you must have noticed कि जो टेम्परेचर में राजस्थान के लोग डेजर्ट में एक चप्पल पहन के घूमते हैं, हम बूट पहन के भी नहीं घूम सकते because our body is not habitual. If you stayed here for 5 years, you may be able to roam around with a chappal, है ना? So you can see that temperature obviously matters. Mango trees cannot grow in temperate country. So in Canada, Germany, you don't find many mango trees. Poor people, isn't it? So, so that is it. There is no snow leopard in Kerala forest because snow leopard require low temperature. Tuna fishes are rare beyond tropical latitude in the ocean. So all these are proving that temperature has effect. Now, based on thermal tolerance, we classify organisms as eurythermal and stenothermal. So what do we mean by eurythermal? Eurythermal are animals which can tolerate wide range of temperature. That means they can live, survive. Obviously, every organism have their comfort temperature, but they can survive up to a very low temperature to a very high temperature. And stenothermal organisms can tolerate only narrow range of temperature. If there is mild fluctuation, then also they. So water, इसके बारे में तो हम जितना कम बोले उतना कम है because its another name is life. So you yourself know कि समर के टाइम पे जैसे निष्का is again proving, she thought of proving importance of all abiotic factors. So she is proving the importance of water in her life. So what is the importance, Nishka? Do not try to prove it to me directly. Only speak. Nishka will tell her about her current experience about importance of water in her life. Yes, Mishka, over to you. Okay, so this was an extreme condition. So water is something which is associated with everything, beta. It is associated with transport of food because our body main transport is performed by blood and lymph, both are liquid. It is helpful for excretion because lot of excretory material, urine. So some biotic or abiotic factor must be affecting Krishan. So he still don't know. So apart from that, water is a very good solvent. It is maintaining shape of cells. Water is a lot responsible in maintenance of shape of cells. And chemical reactions, you know that you must have studied about biomolecules. Formation of peptide bond, glycosidic bond, the phosphodiester bond, or anything is linked with the removal of H2O, and formation of bond is addition of H2O. That is hydrolysis and hydrolytic reaction. So obviously water is everywhere. We cannot neglect the effect. But it depends on organism to organism that water is having what impact. For example, aquatic animals stay in water. So for them, their body is adapted in a way that they can stay in water. If I stay in water without any protection, after some time I will die. So you can see that if we are talking about water, here they mentioned about aquatic organisms because they stay in water. The salt concentration, the pH of water, the chemical composition of water has immense effect. For example, if a freshwater body which was inhabited by not many aquatic organisms, if we human are dumping our factory waste into that water body, alas, the organisms will die. So there was a beautiful ecosystem rhythm present previously. We are breaking that rhythm by adding an abiotic factor which is chemical factory, and we are destroying the rhythm of ecosystem. So generally in inland water, salt concentration is part per thousand ppt. जैसे ppm होता है, you must have studied parts per million. It is less than 5, 30 to 35 in sea, and more than like 100 in some hypersaline lagoon. Can you tell me any of this hypersaline lagoon? There is a sea, Dead Sea, very good, where you cannot sink. आप तैरो ना तैरो आप डूबोगे because the density of water is too high. So, or based on the tolerance or salinity of organisms, they can be further subdivided into euryhaline and stenohaline. Euryhaline can tolerate a wide range of salinity, whereas for stenohaline it is very low. So I wish to talk here about the adaptations of fish of fresh water and sea water. You know, freshwater fish has body fluid concentration more than the water in which they live. Because fresh water have very less salt concentration. which is actually negligible. तो फिश के बॉडी में जो फ्लूइड है उसकी कंसंट्रेशन बाहर वाटर है उसकी कंसंट्रेशन से बहुत ज्यादा होता है. So outside water will be hypotonic and the fish cell liquid will be hypertonic. So what it will face, exoosmosis or endoosmosis? Water will go inside the cell or water will go outside? So it will be endoosmosis because water move always from high area of water to low area of water by osmosis. So the challenge that will be faced by freshwater fish is to prevent their cells from swell and burst. उनके लिए सबसे बड़ी चैलेंज यही होगी कि उनकी सेल स्वेल ना हो जाए और वो बर्स्ट ना हो. The challenge with marine fishes are exactly opposite. उनकी बॉडी की जो फ्लूइड होती है that is having less concentration than the sea water. So in their case, water will go out or in? Out. So they will lose water by exoosmosis. तो उनके केस में सेल्स का श्रिंक हो जाने का चैलेंज है. So how they solve this problem? First of all, in case of, I will talk in case of freshwater fish. In case of freshwater fish, they have scales and their scales are big inside, which is protecting their cells to come in direct contact with the water. But some part are exposed and water loss is possible from that part. That's why they continuously maintain the internal osmolarity because their challenge is they will have water. So the urine they pass, that means the excretion they do, will have not much water. So whatever water is coming inside, they need to remove it from their body. Generally, they excrete ammonia, but they excrete ammonia and sometimes excrete water also. In case of marine animal, it is exactly opposite. They drink a lot of marine water to stop their cell from shrinking. The cells immediately they lose water, they keep on drinking the water, and the urine or the excretory substance passed by them is highly concentrated, not dilute like fresh water, because they cannot afford loss of water. But one problem that is present in case of marine species, they drink water. With water they will have salt also, na? Sea water is salty, which will in turn again increase the concentration of body fluid. So they have special secretory glands called salt gland, which is responsible for secretion of excess salt. तो वो पानी पीते रहते हैं और salt gland से निकालते रहते हैं ताकि उनकी बॉडी का टेम्परेचर रहे. You must have noticed these are small things which you, if you think you will, marine fishes have clasper in them, which is similar to the penis present in human, and they have internal fertilization. Why? They cannot afford to have external fertilization. Beta, they need to release the sperm and egg in the sea, which will get dehydrated and lost it with. Whereas in case of the other one, that is freshwater fish, they have external fertilization. Okay, so these are small adaptations in these animals. So next factor is light. You may feel that मुझे तो रात को ही जाग के पढ़ना अच्छा लगता है, मुझे लाइट चाहिए ही नहीं, और लाइट तो ट्यूबलाइट भी देती है. Do not forget that sun is the ultimate source of energy. दुनिया में ऐसी कोई एनर्जी नहीं है जो सन से नहीं आया. Can you give me name of any energy which is not from sun? Atoms are created by what? We are piece of sun, beta. We are just a piece of sun, isn't it? So sunlight is also important for us. You must have seen some plants grow in the winter season. Some plants grow in the rainy season. Some in the summer season. You must have studied in grade 11 about long day, short day plants. And you must see that in case of plants, the flowering is also induced by light. So we also change our lifestyle, isn't it? In winter season, हम generally जल्दी सो जाते हैं, सुबह लेट होता है, शाम जल्दी होती है. So obviously, plants are directed to this kind of things. You must have seen कि generally जो dark cave में रहते हैं, they have a very pale body. They don't have colorful body. Whereas organisms stay outside have colorful structure. So you can see that plants have photoperiodism. That means a specific period of light is required by them. कितना period darkness होगा, कितना period light होगा. It is required by them. And we human being also do it. You have seen migratory bird to migrate from the cold region to the warm region during the winter season. Okay. So sun is the ultimate source of energy and we can see only visible light. But there are other light rays also, isn't it? UV is there. UV light is harmful to us. So effect means not only good effect, bad effects are also there. So last but not least, abiotic factor, that is soil. You may say again that ma'am, how does it matter कि मैं कौन से soil पे हूँ? मैं तो टाइल लगाए हुए फ्लोर पे खड़ी रहती हूँ, रोड पे चलती हूँ, सीढ़ियों पे चलती हूँ, जूता पहनती हूँ, सॉक्स पहनती हूँ. How does it matter? But beta, you cannot think about peach plant by sitting in Ahmedabad. A few years ago, nowadays it's exotic fruit varieties. जैसे कि कुछ जगह के लोगों को मैंगोज नसीब नहीं होते. So soil definitely have effect in human life also, directly and indirectly. It is having, you must have seen different places have different kind of crops. Okay, जैसे West Bengal is known for culturing of palm, paddy, that is rice, and jute. है ना? Hilly regions are known for Darjeeling and all Himalayan region for tea, coffee, Nilgiri, apple. It's correct. हम बोलते हैं हमेशा, हाँ? Saffron. So all these are due to soil, and depending on soil conditions, the animals also vary, which are directly dependent on soil. So that's all about abiotic factors. We are going to study in our next lecture that how we can cope up with these abiotic factors. I request now to all of you to look into your textbook and see what we studied. And let me know if you have any doubt. So I am closing the meeting now. Bye to all of you.